Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to continue this dimensional wild ride that is the 2017 Let's Dev Holiday Special. Now, last episode, I did my best to understand working with 3D, adding some lovely screen shake to the game because we have our priorities in check, and added a new enemy train to the game which used Game Maker's pathing feature. Today, we continue the endeavors of understanding how 3D works and more. So let's not waste any more time and get to the episode. To get into the spirit of the first-person aspect, I started to work on adding a temporary player's quote-unquote gun to the game. Now, it's no exaggeration that adapting to how 3D handles certain display aspects was quite a challenge. I started with a modest blue fist-like sprite which would represent the peppermint gauntlet itself. The first issue I ran into was getting it to display properly. Now, in old school shooters, the player's weapon is not part of the player itself. Instead, it's often a sprite drawn to the screen that simply acts as part of the world. But I thought I'd be smart and actually add the fist to the world anyway, and forgot, oh yeah, 3D doesn't work too well, and it makes sense as to why it's drawn to the screen. So that's what I ended up having to do. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed to admit just how long I tried to make it work before, realizing that it was a bad idea. But moving on, after drawing the gauntlet to the screen, I thought that having the gauntlet be static was a little too boring. In order to give it some life, I tied some rotation/movement code to animate the gauntlet whenever the player was in motion, and when the player stopped moving, so would the gauntlet. In fact, looking back, I'm almost certain that old school games did something pretty similar. If I'm ringing my own bell here, ding ding. Now that we're a little more alive, I added some new code to our grunt enemy. Instead of the enemy doing immediate contact damage, I wanted to give the players a moment to react. So I added a behavior that should the player be within proximity of the grunt would rev up for an attack, temporarily displayed as the color green, and then actually delivering a vicious strike, temporarily displayed as the color yellow. After verifying that this worked properly, I shelved the idea until I could get the art done to help better test the timing and general behavior of the attack. Now it was time to move on to a new enemy. While similar to the grunt behavior, this enemy has one purpose: trap the player. Indeed, a familiar system returns to the Peppermint Gauntlet, and that's the struggle system. When players get too close to this particular enemy, which unlike the grunt will always move towards the player is stuck in place. The only way to move again is to break free of its grasp and destroy it before it gets too close again. The point of this enemy is to prevent players from simply circling the arena with no repercussion. By grabbing the player, this allows enemies to catch up and possibly even dispose of those unlucky to be swarmed while struggling. If the struggle screen didn't tip you off to what this enemy ends up being, well, just you wait. Winky face. Before we end this episode, there was one more enemy I've been waiting to add, the Cymbal Monkey. Now, unlike in Box by Christmas, this time around the Cymbal Monkey is much more of a threat. Since enemies are always on alert, the monkey needed a new role, and its new role is to slow down the player. So the way it works is similar to the grunt's proximity attack. However, unlike the grunt, the effects are instant. Getting too close to these noisy monkeys will set them off, slowing the player's movement until they're out of range of the monkey's grasp. So while not as extreme as the freeze enemy, Cymbal Monkeys will continue to be a nuisance as always. Oh boy, that was a lot of new additions. Next time we'll continue working on more additions as we start focusing on those mini bosses, plus a little extra. So again, stay tuned every Saturday for new episodes of the Let's Dev Holiday Special leading up to Christmas Day, where not only will I be releasing the finale of this series, but also the Peppermint Gauntlet game itself. So if you liked this video or you enjoy Let's Dev in general, be sure to hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, leave your thoughts on the project in the comment section below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.